Hello guys, Reptilian here. Today's video is going to be about what I consider to be the top 3 top lane best champions for climbing. All of these champions are pretty easy to get into, also they are all pretty viable in the meta as of making of this video. I think they're pretty good picks if you're starting to play the game or you're not very good at it, to get out of the lower elo and climb. They have a pretty high skill ceiling as well, so eventually if you play them a lot and for example you're in gold elo and you climb out to platinum, they're still going to be viable in this division as well. So now let's get on with the list. In the number 3 spot we have Nasus, a champion that definitely excels in lower elo. Because lower elo games tend to go a lot longer than higher elo games, people make more mistakes and the game drags out. A champion like Nasus that possesses infinite scaling in his kit is definitely a champion that has an advantage. As you can see in the clips provided, Nasus is very strong later into the game when he gets his resistances to counter his enemies and he gets his stacks high. He heals for so much damage and you cannot damage him at all. His Q has such a lower cooldown. He just becomes a monster. You cannot do anything against him. Nasus is a very strong champion also because he does not demand for you to do anything crazy in the early game. All you have to do is just sit tight and try and survive the laning phase while you're still weak. And if your opponent does not succeed in absolutely destroying you, you're gonna take over the game and nobody's gonna be able to stand in your way. In the number 2 spot we have Renekton, considered to be the king of top lane in the old days of League. Definitely a champion you can start playing fairly easily. He excels at his short trades and creating leads and snowballing lanes. Very good if you want to be a bully, if you do not like the playstyle of a Nasus or another type of scaling champion. Renekton is the champion for you. He has one of the strongest and quickest all-in trades in the game, which definitely allows you to surprise a lot of your enemies and get some unexpected kills on them. The combo is very easy to do as well. If you have not played the champion, it's not that hard. One of the easiest combo champions to play in the game. He's also pretty versatile. You can pick him into almost anything because of his Q sustain from the enraged Q. He can do well even into a lot of the poke matchups and just sustain them out, get his items and look to trade and create leads against. To summarize on Renekton, he is basically a champion that's very strong and aggressive early game, that can do well against almost any champion. Of course he has some better matchups, but in general he's very good if you want to be aggressive in the early game. And yeah, that's pretty much Renekton. Now in the number 1 spot here we have Jax, also known as the 1v9 machine. Jax is a champion that scales very well into the late game, has some pretty good damage in the early game and is a very good duelist due to his counter-strike ability, which allows him to trade well into a lot of melee matchups in the top lane. Also his damage output and general DPS is very high. He has very good animation cancels with his W. One of his most oppressive sides is his ability to long lane you. He likes to set up freezes around his tower and excels at chasing the enemy down in lane. His very low Q cooldown combined with his itemization path later into the game after he gets his Trinity Force when he gets the Spear of Shojin make him definitely a monster to be wary of. Having said this, I want to make clear that this list is made purely based on my opinion and experience playing League of Legends. If you disagree with me or you have any other champions that you think are better at that, you can leave them down in the comment section below. Maybe I could make a video about them next time. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. As well as that, if you want to know when I stream, you can follow me on Twitter where I post my schedule. And I'll see you in the next video.